Alright, once again, Happy New Year. Hope you're all doing well. And in this lesson, we are going to create a new project called Race Cars. Okay, and we're going to show you how to race on Premiere. So, first things first, you're going to go ahead and open up a new project. Alright, and we're going to name it Race Car. Okay, you can probably see the cars behind. And find a folder inside in your Premiere. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Browse. I know where I'm going to put this thing, so I have Advanced Graphic and then Unit 9, and well, that's where I'm going to put it, right there. Okay, so you can find a good place. Just make sure your images are all together, everything's cool. Press choose. Alright, everything looks good. Okay, make sure time code, audio samples, HDV, all that fun stuff is selected. Press OK. Alright, and now normally we'd go right into Premiere, okay, which is what we're doing right now. And okay, there we go. And making sure everything's all set. Okay, now first of all, if you look at the images that we have here, and if you download it already, you'll see that it's got a track. Okay, that's what we're going to put in. And then we've got these cars. Well, obviously we can't use all these cars at once, and would look kind of awkward. So this is a case where we have to use a combination of Photoshop and Premiere. So what you're going to do is you're going to right click, open with, and then open up Photoshop. And you all had Photoshop before, so what you're going to do now is you're going to take the marquee tool. Okay, there. You're going to select three cars of your liking, okay, whichever one you want, and then you're going to select them. You're going to isolate them. Okay, so you're going to do Command C or Command Image. Let's do Edit Copy. Okay, then File New or Command N. Okay, double click and then paste. There it is. Now you notice the layers over here. You've got a background over there, and so what you're going to do is you're going to select and remove this background. So there is delete layer. So now you got this thing all by itself. You'll want to click on the magic wand tool, select the white area, and delete it. There it is. And now if you look at it, you've got a checkered background, which means it's been transparent. Hopefully you'll remember that during from last year. Alright, so let's go ahead and file, save as, and we'll find that folder. Okay, this is not the folder. Let's see if I can find that folder. Classes, Advanced, Unit 9. There it is right there. And you can call it, I would call it PNG. Okay, there's right there, PNG. Okay, and then what I would do is I'm just going to call it Car1. There it is right there. And then we'll save it. Okay, you'll get this dialog box. Press OK. Alright, now we'll go ahead and do another one. Okay, so don't need to save this one. I'm going to go ahead and switch the marquee tool. I kind of like this guy right here. Although the car should be facing the same directions, you'll notice that the car is going this way. So, well, just go ahead and choose cars of the same direction, although they got crappy colors. Let's go ahead and do this one. Okay, Command C, copy. Okay, there we go. Now if I don't like the direction it's going, I can always go Image. Okay, whoops, sorry. We can go to Image, Image Rotation, and then we can flip horizontal. There it is right there. Once again, remove the background, and then take the magic wand tool, select the white area, done, file, save as. Okay, and we will change, we'll call this car number 2. And all I did was select car number 1, and the name appears over here, and I just change 1 to 2, and I make sure that Photoshop is not in photo. We'll choose a PNG. There we go, save it, press OK, and let's go ahead and choose one more car. Okay, and let's choose choose? Well, let's choose, how about we choose the brown one? Okay, so I'm going to bring this over here. Alright, once again remove this, delete layer. Okay, take the magic wand. Okay, don't know what's happening. There, oh, I didn't select the layer. There it is, file, save as. Okay, then they go to PNG number 3. Cool. Alright, and press OK. So now we can retire Photoshop for now. Okay, we'll just go ahead and file, quit Photoshop. Okay, and let it go, and we don't have to save anything. Okay, alright, now we got this, all this situations here, and let's bring everything into Photoshop. Okay, we don't have to bring in the, we have to bring in the track, obviously. Alright, we have to bring in the 3 cars. Okay, there we have it. Alright, very cool. Now there's a few things we can do, obviously. First of all, create the sequence. File, New, Sequence. There it is right there. And obviously I would like to have it at HDV 720p30, which, as you can see right here, that is the dimensions right there, 1280 by 720. And sequence 1, well, let's keep it a sequence 1. Press OK. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to refer to the racetrack. Now the racetrack is going to be the background. So now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drag this into the timeline, and I'm going to stretch it. Now you'll notice that the racetrack is bigger than the actual size of the frame. So now I get to introduce you to the effects control. Okay, the effects control. Now maybe some of you guys remember this from last year. Okay, so we have several effects control. These are the default: motion, opacity, and time mapping. So if we go to motion, you've got position, scale, and rotation. This is what we're going to be focusing on right now. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we've already selected the file and the timeline. This is the output, and you notice it's way bigger than this, but we want to make sure the entire track is shown. So we'll go to scale right here. Okay, there's scale, and then we will shrink it. So you just move it to the left, and there you have it, right about there. And then move it down a little bit. There we go. Then maybe make it a little bit bigger. That's good right there. Okay, so now we got the track exactly where we want it to be. Then let's go ahead and put in the first car. Okay, so let's put in car number 1. Okay, which is that right there. All right, and let's bring this aboard. Okay, and obviously we want to stretch because this car is going to be, obviously, you know, I don't know if we want to make a 3-minute movie or a 4-minute movie, but let's stretch it to a 3-minute movie. As you can always see, you see the little thing right there on the left, so make it a 3-minute movie. And if you can't control that part, okay, you can always control it over here. So you can just type in 3 0 0 0 0. Okay, there you have it. And then the same thing over here. Now this will just snap. It makes it easier. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to move this thing. Okay, so we can actually move it, and we want it to go around the track like that. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have to, shrink this a little bit. Now, as soon as you click on this file right here, where it says car1 PNG, there's several ways you can scale it. Obviously from here you can click on the handlebars right there, those little things, and then make it about, there we go. Okay, and you're gonna have to rotate it. So where is the start? Let's make the start right here. Okay, and we got to make room for several cars, so let's do that one, and let's go ahead and bring in car number 2. There you have it. Okay, so car number 2 is right about there. And the way we do this one now, of course, if we click on car number 1, you'll notice that it's at 24.5 Okay, there it is, 24.5%. So I'm just going to click here and copy it. Then I'll click car number 2 and notice it at 100%, and we'll just go ahead and replace that with 24%. Bring it down a little bit. Okay, and then move it down. Now, by the way, moving it down, there's several ways I can do it. Obviously, the easiest way to do it is right like this. Okay, now which car is going to be ahead of what? Okay, so maybe you want car number 1 to be on top. Okay, just like in Photoshop, I just move car number 1 right here, okay, on the track bar on top of car number 2. Alright, let's go ahead and bring in car number 3. Okay, and we'll bring this, okay, once again, and let's click here. Okay, call it 24.5, and then and the way you can do this one is by position right here. See where it says position? As long as I have the file selected over here, I can move it. So here I can move it down, okay, across. So I'm going to bring this down a little bit, and you notice that it's actually over the other cars. So again, I'm going to have to work and manipulate things a little bit. So here I want car 3, it has to be like behind these other two. So the way I do this is I move the other two up, bring this down, okay, and you can notice that, and then I'm going to bring this one up, and then it's kind of really you got to manipulate a lot, unfortunately, but look at that, now that makes more sense. Alright, so on your mark, get set, and go. Where do we go from here? I would say work at one car at a time. Okay, so let's start from the very beginning, and okay, so we're clicking car number 1, which is this guy right here. Okay, so right there. So the first thing we're going to do now is we're going to work on position. We're going to bring, first thing, before, actually, I'm sorry. So we're going to have to click, we're going to use a concept called keyframes. Keyframes, okay, if I bring in this right here, you can ignore that. Keyframes basically are points where there is a change in animation. Okay, now if we were in class, I'll talk to you more about keyframes. Really important stuff, because everything is done in points. Okay, so in other words, you know, at a certain point we're gonna one of these cars are going to be at this area here. So now this was obviously taken from the internet, and so here is where I'm going to go, this first little squiggly circle over there. So I want this thing, okay, to travel like this. It's always got to be on the pavement. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move it up a little bit. Okay, first of all, I'm sorry, I've got to do this. You got to press these toggles right here. Let me go ahead. So right here where it says position, so you need to toggle it. That means you got to activate the fact that this can be turned into keyframes. And there you have it. Okay, now let's go ahead, and you got to make sure that you're able to see this. Okay, and I'm able to show this because there's a little arrow here. Click that and you'll have the keyframe, and I'm going to shrink this part right here a little bit because I need more of the keyframes than I need this car now. Alright, so now one thing you also notice is as soon as you clicked on the toggles, the first keyframe is already here, okay, for this particular car. So now I'm actually going to, let's say like around this long, I'm going to move this guy right about here. Okay, so already you'll notice that it's moving a little bit. Alright, so now I'm going to go a little bit further, and I'm going to move this guy right about here. Okay, so there we go. So boom, there it is right there. Alright, now I'm going to go a little bit further. This time the car is going to go up here. Then let's go a little bit further. Car is going to move way up here. And further. gonna move it way up here and follow the line, okay? Make sure you're staying on the pavement. So here we go. Look at this. It doesn't make sense right now because the car is moving backwards, but we'll make it. Okay, so now we'll do this. We'll go a little bit further. And if you're getting the gist, you can stop and fast forward if you like. All right, and we're about to run out of room, but then, that's okay. We'll keep going. All right, and then, but yeah, you notice how the time is kind of, now we can do several things. We can make it go a little bit more, or we can do this. We can actually click and drag the keyframes here and bring it back a little bit. See that? And like I said, we're changing the speed of the car. So let's go over here and bring this down right about there. And then right there. And then, okay, whoops. And then go straight ahead. There we go. Alright, so as if we can see right now, look at that. It's kind of coming along there very nicely. Now, several things obviously don't make sense. The fact that the car seems to be going, so we need to make it turn. Like right here, this is where the rotation comes in. Rotation right over here. So we got to toggle this. Now, what we got to do is it'll have its own set of keyframes. Okay, but what you should do is use these arrow keys right here. See this arrow key and see this arrow key? So watch what happens when I click on this arrow key. It goes right to the first keyframe. And this is where I want to toggle right here. Now this is where I'm going to kind of move it. You see that right there? And by the way, you can also change the position by making it go up a little bit. See that? So now look what happens. That didn't work, did it? So I've got to do that again. So let's do this. Oh, you know why? Because I didn't create an original keyframe. So let's see what happens. Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to move this over. Okay, now I'm going to go to the next keyframe. There it is right there. And I'm going to basically move this up a little bit. There we go. See that? Now it's going that way. And let's see, maybe I can move this up a little bit. So now, okay, so now it's starting to make sense. So now I go over here, I toggle this a little bit more. There it is, and then bring this to a little bit. So as you can see where you're seeing where I'm going through this. So now I click on the next toggle. See that? It's matching. I'm going to bring this a little bit like this. Next toggle. Okay, click out and then move it back up a little bit. Next keyframe. Okay, and this time I'm going to move it to the left. Okay. Let's keep moving. We'll fix things because there's a lot of concerns I already have with this thing. Whoops. Let's keep moving. So there we have the rotation. Now it's kind of going upside down. Okay, so that's fine. I would still put a keyframe there by clicking on this. And then it's going there. Rotation down here, bring it down a little bit. Okay, and you can see that there's more keyframes. I'd have to move the scroll bar here. Let's go to the next one. That's pretty good. Let's go to the next. And again, I put another keyframe here. I'm not changing anything, but you should have a keyframe there. And then click on the next one. Let's see how that looks. See, now right here, even though it looks good over there, see right here, you got to be careful. So maybe right here, right about in between these two keyframes, you want to add a third keyframe, like keyframe right here, and move this down. There we go. Okay. So you see now we're making sense. Go to the next one and then toggle this. Okay, let's see how it looks. So I want to kind of see, there we go. Alright, go to the next toggle and then bring this down. You see that? This this one here is moves the item up and down, as you can see, and this number here brings it left or right. Okay, now let's go to the next one and then boom, finished. And we'll bring this down. There we have it. So in other words, if we were to play the animation and press, watch what happens when we press the space key or press this right here. Slow. That's way too slow. So what you're going to do is you're going to work on the next car. That is really slow, but we'll show you how to speed things up a bit. So the way to speed things up a bit, if you're not satisfied, because that is really slow, you can actually bring this closer, but you'll have to do it for everything. See how I'm kind of selecting? See that little line there? And I'm going to go ahead and do this, move it over. Now watch what happens. It kind of goes a little faster. Okay, so anyways, do the best that you can, because ultimately we can actually increase the speed. Alright, so just do this so you notice that I'm working around, working around, working around, and again, it'll get faster. Well, let me just show you what I'm going to do right now. So if I want to increase the speed, I right click and then I click on speed duration. Okay, let me do it again. I right click and click on speed duration. There it is right there. And I'm going to increase the speed. Hold on a second, I'm sorry. Right click. I don't think a speed let me see, add speed should be okay. So the mistake I made was I made this last about 2 minutes long. Anyways, what you can do for car number one is you can actually move these things a little bit closer so they finish faster. So let's see, let's go over here, like for instance these guys right here, move it closer, then go over here, move it closer, okay, then over here, move it closer, there we go, and over here, like this is a big gap right here, move it closer. So you notice that you're moving in the keyframes, okay, and that way, there you have it. Let's see if we can do this and move it all. Whoops, I guess it wants you to do one at a time. Move it closer, which doesn't make any sense. You can also do this. Click on the tilde key. Click on the tilde key and then you can have a lot more. There we go, right there. Alright, so there we have it. So hopefully it kind of makes sense. Although there's a lot that have it, and I'll go ahead and move this a little closer. There you have it, and what I'm going to do is these guys right here, select these things and then move this over. Move this over, and let's go ahead and press tilde again, and let's see how much faster it goes. So not great, but you know, it one thing for sure is that this is only going to last till 2 minutes and something. So I can actually shrink this down to let's say 209, and it'll go a little bit faster there. So there, it still crosses the finish line, maybe not so much there, right about there. And then I can adjust the other ones as well. Alright, so I'll be telling you in classes to give it about a minute. Okay, there's no reason to make it last 2 minutes. Okay. Alright, so go ahead and try that, and on the next car you're not going to see these the keyframes, and let's see who wins. Okay, so save it as an MP4, send it in, and that's it.